What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Beyond the 90. I'm Alex. Unfortunately, Neil can't make it today. And, well, it's going to be even difficult to talk about this one. Let's be serious. Leicester City lose 4-3 to Liverpool in the penalties. I don't even really know how to describe this. And I think there's a level of frustration that's going, around the entire support between every supporter right now. Like, that was bad. When you have, a 3-1 lead going into half, you would think that would be something that we could hold on to. And unfortunately, can't even do that. It's difficult. I'm finding it hard to really put into words what I just witnessed, and it seems like nobody else really wants to talk about this because this one is hard to talk about. Ethan, how you doing, man? Oh, how you doing, man? But I don't even know how to even break this down. If we're going into that the first half, we have Vardy scoring 2 goals, and it seemed like we were already in the up and up there. And you don't even want to even focus in on that second half. There were so many negatives to that second half, between formation shifts, questionable substitutions, absolutely horrible officiating. But we can keep on making excuses left, right, and center, but it's clear as day that, we weren't good enough at the end. We parked the bus in that second half, and you can't do that when, you're away at Liverpool. So it's a tough pill to swallow. And I definitely think that there needs to be questions about what the decisions were for the penalty options. Why was Nacho one of the last shooters? Why did Vardy not even get the attempt to shoot? Why was Bertrand in there? Why was Luke Young? These are all questions that are completely, absolutely puzzling because you do not expect those at all in this type of match. It's extremely difficult to even break down, and I think this is a perfect. Thomas should never have taken that one, and I think you're spot on that one. Putting a kid in that type of that type of situation, when you have far better shooters, Jamie Vardy didn't even shoot, and that's one thing. And then you look at the other opportunity of why is Ryan Bertrand taking the final shot? Why? He, since his, bout with, getting the virus, he has not been himself. And, you have Jamie Vardy, who was absolutely stellar in that first half. Why not give him that option? Why is Jamie Vardy not shooting there? I don't even know how to even describe this. And we could break this down play by play and, goal by goal. But I feel like at the end of the day, we're still going to be talking about, this scoreline and how unacceptable it is. And there's a lot of questions in this, and the possibility that we're losing, both Ricardo Pereira and Kegs to injury in this is absolutely killer as well. We're already dealing with a depleted squad, and so now we're dealing with 2 other players that possibly could be out. Ricardo looked like he was damaged right from that initial tackle, and then Cienci going off later on. It's getting worse and worse, and as we approach the January window, there's been those question marks surrounding the fact, like, okay, who are we actually going to look at? Well, the biggest question is we don't have any funds, and I think that's the other worrisome feeling about this entirety of what's going to occur is that we are so injury stricken, and we do not have the funds to bring in any high caliber, quality type, center back for that matter. It's been tough, and I think I'm not the only one to say that. You know it's just this one game. I feel like this has been an ongoing discussion that we've discussed time in and time again about the amount of red flags from this squad and from this team, and it just seems like every week it's just an ongoing issue. And so I'm just gonna Chester, you're saying, let's mention our luck. Though seriously, it's our own fault, but our luck is some of the worst I've ever seen. I agree with you in some sense, but you also have to realize that, it's our own fault, because we should have been able to come out of that, leading 3-1 and, being able to close that out. But, it just seems like we just never can do that. And, I definitely think that you can definitely discuss the fact about luck, but, every club deals with issues, but it just seems like no matter what we try to do, we just can't do it. And this season, and everything that we've done has caused those issues. I just, it's, I don't know. When you look at that back line, that is a makeshift back line. That is literally putting a Frankenstein back line together and hoping that it works, and it's not going to work. And today it was, proved evident, especially when Soyuncu went out. Vestergaard isn't good enough. And Ndidi's doing whatever he can. Bertrand has been, a ghost of what he used to be or what he was when he first came into with Leicester. But that's a different discussion altogether. It's hard, and I think we're coming into the part of the season where games are going to be coming quick, thick and fast, and with the last couple of games being postponed, they're going to have to slot these games in somewhere. So it's going to be extremely tight, playing matches here and there. So with an already depleted lineup, and the way that we're playing, it's quite concerning. I want to hear your thoughts. Usually I have someone to bounce ideas off of and whatnot, and I'm here talking to myself, and so this is extremely hard. But I don't know what we do from here. I really do not know what we do from here. I feel like we had the clear opportunity to really capitalize off this, and we threw it all away. I think there's question marks surrounding, like I said, the formation shifts. I think there's questions around the substitutions, the players chosen to be in the penalty, to take those penalties. But it seems like we've continually brought up the same issues week in and week out. Even after, if we can string a win in here and there, it seems like we're still bringing up the issues. We have, what are we going to do with that back line? We have no money. Recruitment needs to improve in January. We can only technically bring in loan signings. Ethan's spot on with this. And, and that's the thing is that, with the back line, what we have, the injuries that we've been dealing with, and it just seems like those injuries continue to mount. It's incredible when you look at what we have and you go, what are we going to do? And for those, remaining optimistic that Fofana's going to come in, as soon as he's fully fit, that's not going to happen. He's going to have to become, he's going to have to work at getting fully fit again, even when he's back from injury. And, it's the same with James Justin. These types of players are going to be ready to go, but they're not going to be slotting in right away. These, they need to develop their fitness again. And that's something that we have to be patient with, and we hope that, they have a luckier time than Ricardo Pereira has had, because he's just been dealt a rough hand of just unlucky bounces, and that's just been so unfortunate. And losing him today has just been another dagger. It's I don't know how much longer I can actually even go discussing this, because like I said, it just seems like it's day in and day out, same discussion. We have been average, to say the least, this season. absolutely average, and having to, you know, continue to, pull out these performances, it just starts to really make you question what you're going to actually see from this, from the starting 11. Average is being nice, that's actually accurate because average is nice. I think if we're going to be all in agreement, I think, they, um, definitely is not average, it, good question. I don't think KDH should have been brought off. That was a questionable move. I actually I think I would question all three of his substitutions. Vestergaard was, that had to happen because of, Suyunsu being injured. So that's an unfortunate one because you lose Suyunsu, but you also have to bring in Vestergaard, who at the end of the day is not, has not been a good signing for us and has just been absolutely horrible. Bertrand that substitution makes no sense. And partially, I understand the Nacho substitution, but that's only because because Nacho's been sitting on the bench so much, he's deserved the opportunity to play, especially from what he's delivered last season. But at the same time, you could argue, Daka has been absolutely fabulous, and you're not going to take off Vardy as well. So, we can. I think you can kind of question all three of the substitutions, but I definitely think Vestergaard was. Vestergaard you have to do, but Bertrand is just one of those, is a substitution that, it's just absolutely unacceptable. Bertrand has been below par, to say the least. That's politely said. That's the Canadian version of being polite there. But, you got to really question what Rodgers is doing. And, me and Neil have always said, we're very, neutral when it comes to discussing Brendan Rodgers, but I think I'm going to still remain there because what is the second option there? What is our alternate option than Brendan Rodgers right now? And to be brutally honest, there is none. There really isn't anything that we can really look at right now. I think the most positive thing that you can actually look at is, mid-table finish. It's this club this season has been one of the hardest to ever analyze. Look, some seasons you can look at them and be like, yeah, they're going to be, the last two seasons, yeah, they've been exceptional, top four finish, and unfortunately they never made it, because that seems to be, the Rodgers way. But this season is just so hard to even analyze and try to dictate as to what you're going to expect. And Ethan, this is the funny thing is, I've been saying this for weeks. I've been saying that we've been at a crossroads for probably over a month, possibly two, I think, at this point, where we have been dealing with, we've been playing match after match, and it's been just, absolutely atrocious football. And then we pull out a draw or we pull out a win. And it's, you start questioning, being like, well, maybe next game will be the determining factor. But every week it seems to be the same thing. I feel like this season, if you can define this season in one word, it would be crossroad, because this season is a crossroad for Leicester City, in my opinion, or even inconsistent, Ethan. But we are at a crossroad, and I believe this season is the crossroad for Leicester City, because you can only do so much before players start realizing or start looking at and being like, I want to go somewhere else. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing that we are going to, there's a lot of question marks surrounding who is actually going to be here next season. And yeah, it's difficult. It really is. And I really don't know what else to, even talk about. Our next match is on Sunday, Boxing Day match, and that's a big one. And then we face off against Liverpool after that, and I don't know what to say anymore. I really do not know what to say anymore. It's frustrating. It's irritating. And, realistically, I'm just speechless. I don't know what to say anymore. And that's not because I don't have anyone to bounce off what I'm thinking, but I really, really don't know what to say anymore. My faith in Rodgers has wavered. My faith in this squad has wavered. And at the end of the day, you hope that they can figure this out. And yet again, broken record, said this time and time again. You hope they can figure it out. And it's difficult. It's hard. And the positive part of me wants to just say, keep calm and trust the process. But in these moments, in a season like this, it is hard. It is extremely hard. Yeah. So that's it for me. If you do not subscribe, and we will catch you after the next match on Sunday for Boxing Day. And for everyone, happy holidays, and we'll see you then.